Okay, as in go? Sorry, 1 second.
Forktales, a podcast that feeds the food and beverage world.
Oh, awesome. Forktales is brought to you by Vigor, a branding and marketing agency for passion-driven, innovative restaurant, beverage, and hospitality brands. Learn more at vigorbranding.com. If you love what we're serving up, please give Forktales a 5-star review on your podcast service of choice. Think of it as a tip for good service.
Hey everyone, today I have my friends from Cinnaholic on. I have LeAnne Cavallero and Heather Stennis. Guys, why don't you say hello and give a little backstory on what you do at Cinnaholic?
Hi, my name is Heather. I am the Director of Marketing for Cinnaholic. Been with the company a little over 2 years, and I handle all things marketing. Very heavy on social media. I manage our websites, our promotion calendar, local store marketing, from grand openings to post-opening, local events, sponsorships, things like that. If it's in the marketing wheelhouse, I'm involved with it in some way.
And I'm LeAnne. I'm our Director of Operations. Thanks for having us. We're excited. So what do I do? All things operations. A lot of it starts when our stores go into development. So I support them through that phase, all the way up until they have their grand opening. So just making sure they're ready to go. And then after that as well. So any support with anything, labor, scheduling, menu, all kinds of things. The list goes on.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, that's a nice little rundown of how complex these roles are at a company that is of this size and growing. And so Cinnaholic, it's really been taking the nation by storm. What do you guys think has been the secret to getting those lines out the front door, getting people excited? What kind of secrets can you share in that magic?
So a little backstory on Cinnaholic. It was founded in 2010 by a husband and wife team in California, and our menu is they're vegan. So our menu is 100% vegan, plant-based, 100% lactose, dairy, egg-free. So I think they kind of generated a buzz in that vegan community, and everything's obviously delicious. In 2014, they went on Shark Tank to get a deal, obviously, with a shark. They got a deal with Robert, and it fell through actually after the show, and they opted into franchising. But it was that Shark Tank success, being on air and still on air. The episode still runs. That has helped us tremendously. But, the concept is simple. We're a gourmet cinnamon roll bakery. Customize your own rolls. We have we're in the store. We have a menu behind us, and we have some more popular builds on the board. But we have over 20 frostings and toppings, and people kind of love that concept that they can come in and make their own roll. Whether they're a chocolate fan or fruit fan. Anything?
Yeah. So, and also I think really, Heather's really done a great job with all of our social media and expanding that. And, our product, it sells itself. The photos are amazing. So imagine what they taste like, right? So I remember even before I started working here, just seeing some of the images on social media, like, you've got to be kidding. What is this? Right? So I've got to try this. And I think that's a lot of what our guests see on social media. And then they're like, wait, no way. You're coming to our community. We've got to get out there. And it's so funny to see. I've always worked in restaurants, and I always think it's so funny to see at grand openings, you see a line and people still jump in the line, and they're not like, oh, I'll come back later. I'll come back when it's not busy. They want to be here for the first day ever of Cinnaholic in their town. And it's so exciting. And even the first restaurant we opened during the pandemic last year, we were like, let's take it easy. Let's not staff as much. Let's
push. Let's not do as much marketing. Let's kind of just open the doors and see what happens.
Yeah, we didn't want to attract a crowd. Oh, that's not social distancing. Oh, we were sadly missed. I mean,
2-hour wait.
we were like, let's turn on our new online ordering. Let's turn on our third party. It's not going to be busy. Let's get all of the traffic
any way
can.
that we can get sales, let's do it.
We were like, shut it off, shut it down. Take care of all these people in line. It was insane.
Yeah.
And we were grateful and we were surprised and we were like, this is the new, okay, like our openings haven't changed. They're still busy. People are still excited. They're wearing their masks and they're kind of social distancing in lines, but they still want their cinnamon roll the day we open. And we were like,
Right.
Great, we're here for you.
Yeah, I think we do a really good job with our social media for our grand openings. All of our locations have their own individual Facebook and Instagram page. So we do that's kind of how we drive the word that, we're coming to your town. This is our menu. So several weeks, once LeAnne kind of gives me that go that, this location is wrapping up construction, we just really start pushing it and getting the word out. We're coming. This is us. This is our menu. You got to be, one of the first to try it. We run contests for free cinnamon rolls for a year, but a lot of social media engagement to get people in the door. And it's, we're very, very fortunate, but we've opened at least 20 locations in the past, during the pandemic, and all have had, lines. We had record-breaking sales, and
Nice.
Last year, yeah, it's been great.
So that's pretty crazy. So how many units are you at as of today?
Today we are at 57, but next week we are opening 58 and 59 on the same day.
That is awesome. So having an individual social platforms for each of those is, maniacal. I don't know. It's like insane. How do you go about, what does that process and procedure look like from management, from brand down, and then what are the expectations of, let's say, the franchisee, and then how do you foster them to do it well? And I know those are 3 questions, so let's see if you can get through.
Yeah, it's ongoing. That's my day to day, is just checking in with them, making sure, are you guys posting? Do you, always training. Social media is always changing. Facebook and Instagram are always changing. I'm always learning the platforms, and I'm always passing that information on to our franchise partners. But when they get it, sign a deal and sign a lease, pretty early on in that process, I connect with them and get their pages created and just kind of give them the basics of, we are a bakery, but we live on social media as well. Our menu being so customizable and ever changing, it's just great for social media. Just, the food is so beautiful. It's eye catching. We're not pigeonholed into 6 to 10 items. Again, we have technically thousands of items that you could create. So every day could be, a new content. So yeah, I just get them on their pages, get them comfortable, kind of just teach them the basics about posting, brand standards, and go from there. Our team is small but kind of growing. I have myself and 2 others that kind of just monitor the pages and make sure that people are getting, because when we do a post, we get hundreds of likes and comments and questions, right. And it's just a matter of always engaging with those customers online as well as in store, and just keeping that training top of mind for franchisees, knowing that your business is 2-part these days. It's, again, your 4 walls and also online.
Right, of course. And we always say that too. You have to treat the digital world as another location.
Yeah, it is.
So does corporate provide, and maybe this is getting very granular, but does corporate provide the community management services for each of the locations?
We schedule content for all locations.
Yeah.
And, because some locations, they're very unfamiliar with social media, they're intimidated by it, and they'll do kind of, say the bare minimum. So we make sure that content is going out for all locations. But we encourage franchisees, the ones that are in the top 10, top 20, they're getting it, and they're posting that local content. They're posting their daily specials, their local happenings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's part of our marketing, and ongoing. We are managing their social media and assisting them.
I love that. Now, so on the operations side, like you said, you have like 1,000, different variations of it. What does menu innovation look like? How do you march down paths to maybe develop another topping, or so on and so forth? And what role does the veganism play in either creating brilliant, awesome ideas or hindering ideas?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a double-edged sword, the vegan aspect, right? But it helps us really think outside of the box for sure. We have someone on our operations team who is very, very involved in recipe development, and she has a culinary background, so it's like perfect. So she'll test some things out. We get a lot of ideas from franchisees and people in the field as well, feedback about things they'd like to see, feedback about what their guests are saying. We added an item to our menu last year, chocolate chip banana bread, that was created in one of our stores in Vegas.
It was intended to be an LTO, limited time item, 3 months at max. But we started posting, hey, this is going away. Make sure you get it this week. And the feedback became instant, like, do not take this off your menu. Please keep this on. You can't lose this item. And we were like, oh my gosh, we have to keep it. And the system agreed. And so now it's not only an item, we do banana bread as a topping for cinnamon rolls as well.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, innovation with the menu, it's fun, but we have to think USA and Canada. So that kind of throws a little wrench in there because sourcing products sometimes, if it's a specific brand, is difficult, in Canada versus here, maybe. And, just different distributors people use. So there's definitely hurdles like that we have to get through. So we try to keep all of those things in mind. Is this going to be feasible for people to get? First of all, when we're tasting it, like, is it good? Is this taste good? Is this exciting? Is this different? Or is this just like the same old, whatever? Lots of components.
And sorry to interrupt, but no, we make sure to change the flavor at least 5 times a year. So we do run those LTOs 5 times a year. We do, seasonally, spring, summer, fall, winter.
And holiday.
Yeah. So December is its own category. It's kind of holiday rolls, but
awesome.
We kind of plan around that, those 5 changes.
Yeah, I suppose what's good about that is, maybe the ingredients that you're using are a little bit more accessible, because you don't have to worry about eggs. You don't have to worry about some of the other things that I think a traditional cinnamon roll would have to worry about. I think what's brilliant to me when I'm looking in is a lot of times when you're starting a brand, and I know that y'all joined after this had been started in growth mode, but when you're starting a brand, the Goliaths out there seem so untouchable. And I think what Cinnaholic has done is found a way to be that David, not to use a biblical analogy here, but be that David by, the slingshot being veganism. Because when you talk to brands that I would say are in the same general category, meaning it's kind of breakfast, kind of snack, kind of dessert. They have vegan options, vegetarian options that they talk about, but pivoting and adding it just creates an operational nightmare. Whereas y'all have started that way, and so it's a benefit because veganism isn't something you're adding on as, oh, I hear people like this. It's baked into who we are, pun intended.
Good one.
And I think that's great. But beyond that, how do you find, or how have you found a way to compete in the category where you have a dominant player like Cinnabon, for instance? How do you fight that? Not to mention the donut world and we'll say donut world, which is a breakfast / dessert.
Donuts, cookies, any sweet treat like that can be our competition. So we're out there competing with a lot of players, a lot of big names. But I think our menu, being that it's 100% vegan, that initially just sets us apart from everybody. There's not another vegan bakery growing like us in the franchise world. So we kind of have that natural benefit. And also, we are extremely proud to be a vegan concept, but it's not something that we market. It's not the forefront of our marketing. It's, it's kind of like, if that vegan community, they embrace us, and, we're obviously, well loved there, but, we're expanding in small markets across the country where, that vegan lifestyle isn't that popular, and it's a little misunderstood. So we don't, that's why we don't, make it the forefront. We focus that we're delicious, we're gourmet, we're decadent desserts. And then, kind of when people find out, oh wait, this is vegan, we love that. We love when people, their minds are blown, or when we have the families come in with children or people with, food allergies, and they're able to eat everything in the bakery, like those kind of things that we love that aspect of the brand.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the core. But then I would say, like, what keeps it interesting, the fact that you could customize your cinnamon roll. I mean, over 20 different frosting flavors and toppings. It's insane. And, we have an item on our menu called the Cinnah Stack, which is a full-size cinnamon roll and then a cookie dough scoop on top. And there's frosting and toppings between the layers. And this was like born on Instagram. Like some bitch just like went in, like ordered it.
How big can I make this?
Yeah, like, can I get this on top of this? And then, it started kind of going through social media. And then it was like, we need to like add this to our menu because people are coming in like showing their phone, like, can I order this? And we were like, we have to create a procedure. We have to help our franchisees. They're going to be like, what? Where'd you get that? And so we were like, so it's really exciting to see like even what our guests can help us create and innovate. Just by looking at the menu and saying like, I can't choose, I want all of it in one.
Yeah.
I love it.
When you walk into a Cinnaholic too, most of our locations are really small. We don't have freezers. We are made fresh all day, every day. The rolls are coming in the oven like pretty much every 15 minutes. Fresh toppings. The cookie dough is made fresh every day. Making the banana bread, brownies, all of that's made fresh. So I think all of those things kind of really just are setting us apart from. I don't want to name names, but we're
of course, yeah. I think I may have already named one of those.
Yeah.
But so I think one of the things that we find when we're dealing with a product mix that has a really strong niche, especially when you introduce franchisees into the mix. Franchisees notoriously love to push boundaries. Is that a newsflash? Thank God you were sitting down. But how do you keep them on rails? How do you keep them excited about the product, and especially if there are dips in sales or maybe a slight drought? How do you keep them focused, eye on the prize?
Yeah, because sometimes people are like, I need some more excitement. I need more sales. Maybe if I put out this new item or that new item. So it's like, first of all, we have to taste it. We have to make sure, what does this taste like? How's this going to work operationally? Because we know the second that they make this and they start serving it to their guests, it's going to end up on social media, and then cat's out of the bag, and every other store in the system is like, well, I want to do that. Like, can we do that? And so it's like, we have to make sure we have our arms around it and say like, can we understand what this looks like? What ingredients are being used? What's the cost going to be? Is this operationally easy? Can they work it in with all the other things they have to do in a day? So yeah, there's definitely some hurdles like that.
I mean, and from my side, just listening to them, when we run promos and company-wide deals, which it's limited. We do have a couple. National Cinnamon Roll Day, for example, is one that we do something company-wide. We kind of change the offer each year, but we're always asking the franchisees for feedback. Like, did this work? What worked? What didn't work? Whether it's that or something else, but always kind of really, really listening to them and hearing them out and adjusting our future promos to better make everybody better successful.
Yeah.
So giving that platform to discuss and collaborate, it's so invaluable. I think half the time people just want to be heard, and they just want to know that it has been considered. And if you give them a good reason why the decision has been made, maybe against their idea, they tend to get on board, I think, quicker. So one thing I have to note, and I would love to talk about this, is, LeAnne, maybe I'm getting the best of you, but you might be the nicest ops person I've ever met.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. So this is maybe a little more.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's like I said, maybe I'm getting the best. I don't know.
Maybe you could, but my background really is training. I mean, okay. I've always worked in restaurants since I was in college. And when I graduated and I decided, I don't know what all these other jobs are trying to sell me, I was like, let me go with what I know. And I started training at new restaurant openings, and I've literally done that ever since.
Yeah.
And so you have to, I learned a lot about myself. I was like, wow, I'm really patient. I have empathy. And I think like those are just like probably, in my forefront when I make a lot of decisions. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
No, I genuinely think that our true friendship helps the company as a whole. Like, I'm the marketing department. She's the operations department. And I come from big names, big brands, and those departments don't always communicate well. They don't work well together. And I saw that, and I saw what that did to franchisees. I saw what it did to the brand. And we don't, we are friends, and we talk all day, every day. We're always on the same page when it comes to our franchisees. But yeah, I think the connection, our small team really helps. The fact that Cinnaholic is growing as quick as we are.
I love that. And so I'm going to tap into something that's a little maybe more controversial, but females in the ops side are not the standard, Yeah. So Heather, obviously in the marketing world, it's common.
Gals.
Yeah, lots of gals over there. And there's definitely stereotypes that come along with that we probably won't tap into here. But on your side, you have to deal with people that have very strong opinions. You have to deal with people that think they know better. Layer on top of that either known or unknown sexism from those people. How do you go up against those challenges? What has worked for you? You mentioned empathy. You mentioned patience. Is there a certain amount of thick skin? What are some tips?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm from New Jersey. I'm not easily offended.
Oh, then that's all we need to know. All right.
So that's fine. I came with that, right? But I, always try to make sure when anyone comes to me with any kind of concern or argument or feedback or whatever it is, mainly I just want to understand everything. So I'm not quick to respond, yes, no, this, that, why. But I just want to understand. So always I ask a lot of questions and make sure, where specifically are they in this process of discovery on, a new item or a campaign they want to run, or, how many people they should have on the schedule, whatever it is. So yeah, just asking questions and just looking at the big picture and everything. And, just understanding that I get in there and work shoulder to shoulder with them when we're training and opening new restaurants. And, I think they see that. I think that makes a difference. And
yeah, there's something about having the sleeves rolled up and being in the trenches that develops that respect and that rapport. And you don't always see it from someone that has the title of director of operations.
Yeah, but you know what? It's really fun. Our job's really fun, and making cinnamon rolls is fun, and so it's easy for us.
How many cinnamon rolls in a day do you mess up so you have to eat them later? But oops.
Yeah. Yeah, just a couple.
Fortunately, the pandemic has kind of kept me, or at least me, out of the bakeries for a lot. But it's such a good. I would eat it. It's dangerous.
Yeah. One of the CMOs that we worked with in the past worked for a brand that had a frozen kind of fruit slush drink, not sugar-free. And I think in the year that he was there, I watched him gain a few pounds.
Yeah. It happened.
It was pretty bad. So looking at this dynamic duo, as it were, you mentioned you guys are talking all day. Having such good rapport between marketing and operations obviously has amazing benefits. Are there secrets to your success and maybe some areas to avoid that you could offer the listeners?
One thing we talked about before we got on, something we're so proud about that we did last year, early pandemic, we, restaurants were closing. People weren't, sure what was happening with, the world, the restaurant world, especially. Our locations were not set up for online ordering. Not everybody was on third-party delivery. And those were two areas that we instantly realized, if people aren't coming in, we still need to get the food to them. How can we do that? At the time we didn't have this. We learned online, or we work with Square. We learned Square's online ordering at home. Again, early pandemic, no one was training us. We did this ourselves, and pretty much through a group chat, myself, LeAnne, and two others, and we built online stores for all of our system, month of April. So 3 or 4 weeks, long hours. What did you say?
Oh yeah, we were building the plane in the air. Now we, just add website developer to our list of. We develop these online stores for every location. But that was one of our keys to success last year, was just
kind of just getting in. Everybody learned it. No one said I can't do this, and we just got it going. Shifted our sales to online, and that really helped us last year. So that was a tip to success, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, and we're always just trying. We talk to plenty of people in a day, plenty of franchisees, and I think something that's important is we always try to say like, hey, these are my like top topics of conversation right now. And Heather would share hers, and then it's like, if you talk to anyone, make sure you mention these 3 things. Like, these are the things that we need to be talking about right now. So like, we do that, if I'm talking to someone after they open a restaurant, or just to check in because we're about to launch an LTO, I also check in on the marketing side. But I think a tip of something to avoid, maybe, I know like my boundaries. I am not an expert in marketing, social media, audience, things like that. So I know when to say like, okay, schedule time with Heather, like I can't be like the unicorn here.
Right.
So.
My tip for, to avoid is, I hate it when people, I don't know, or that's not my job. I won't do that. I try to learn operations. I try to learn, as much as I can, so that I can, same as LeAnne, have those conversations. Comes to mind grand opening. Like, I make sure how much staff, like staffing up is so important. And that's not really, a marketing role, but I'm pushing them so much to, get your team up and ready and be operationally sound. Otherwise there's no point in marketing if you're not, if operations in store aren't good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. I may have said it myself, but not. But it is wonderful to hear that and to see this. And LeAnne, I think if you could just do a cross-country tour and explain what you just said to other operations people, that would make our marketing lives a lot easier.
I think, I was telling our boss a couple weeks ago, I'm like, I think I'm a life coach now.
Yeah. It would help greatly.
Yeah.
So training for systems, and then also training for life.
Yes.
I think this could be the future.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cinnaholic.
So we are in fall, and I unfortunately didn't do enough research on what the LTO is right now. But I think there's a burning question on everyone's mind, especially this time of year. Are you team pumpkin spice, or are you team apples and cinnamon?
Oh, we're pumpkin spice.
Totally pumpkin spice. We
I'm an apples and
do
cinnamon
have
person.
a pumpkin spice roll, and it's amazing. It's kind of like it would be remiss if we didn't bring it back each year. It's so good.
It really is. We keep one on the menu year round. That's caramel apple pie. That definitely has fall, that fall vibe. I mean, it's the top seller, but people, that September, the leaves start falling, and people, when's the pumpkin spice coming out? Like they demand it. Just like the coffee out there, they want to drink it. They want it on a cinnamon roll too.
Yeah, we even launched it earlier than we had originally planned. We were like, you know what? Let's get in there and let's launch it sooner because
we deserve it.
Yeah, everyone deserves it.
I love it. So what's the future look like for Cinnaholic? Operationally speaking, marketing, like what are we excited about right now besides these 2 stores opening up in a minute?
Well, it's 2 next week and about 20 in the following week. So lots of growth.
Lots, yeah. I mean, we have a lot in development, so it's kind of daunting but super exciting. Our corporate team is growing. That's exciting, like there's more support, and I've seen even in the last 6 months, just we're able to talk to more people, go visit more stores, and not be spread so thin, and you could take some time to go through some of the questions that people are sending you, not just like, where's my answer here, hey, let's pick up the phone, let's talk about this for a few minutes instead, because
but yeah, I mean, I think just the future is just more growth. We're expanding in Canada, lots of new markets coming up. We're very big in Texas, but we're opening our first location in Austin. We're opening in Scottsdale, Tampa, the Panhandle of Florida. Mm-hmm. We've got some really great cities coming up. That we're excited to get Cinnaholic out there. It's a great brand. It's a great product. It's a fun company. It's great.
Awesome. All right, so final question. This is probably the most important one. Last day on Earth, last meal. What cinnamon roll are you eating?
Okay, well, we already talked about pumpkin spice, so I don't know if it's
Yeah,
my
Leanne-
last day. I don't think I want that. Okay, okay, I love maple frosting with our homemade pie crumble.
Mm.
Mine is a cream brulee frosting with pie crumble, strawberries, and chocolate chips.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Just a custom roll.
I love it. I need to go get breakfast, I think. So this has been great, y'all. And I appreciate the candid responses and just like a little insight into what your realities are, what's coming, and the excitement in general. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
you.
This was fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
If you love what we've served up, please follow us at Vigor Branding on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Medium. Forktales is produced by the team at Vigor. Audio and video post-productions provided by Zencaster. Music performed by Jet Trash and licensed through musicbed.com. Joseph handles his own hair, makeup, and stunts. Copyright 2003 to 2021, Vigor Graphic Design LLC, all rights reserved.